How's it going, folks, and welcome to Scooter's Garage. Today we're going to show you how to grease the wheel bearing on the rear of these Can-Am Outlanders. Now, I bought a wheel bearing greaser off of eBay. Cost me like, I think it was like $13.50 or something like that. Unfortunately, it is one of the ones where you have to pull the axle out to grease the bearing, which isn't really too big of a deal. The one thing I will say about it, if you do buy this style, is you're gonna have to get some thicker O-rings, because the ones that come with it aren't very thick and they don't seal very well. So just grab you a O-ring kit at Harbor Freight. That's what I did, and just throw a couple thicker ones on there. But to get into this, we're going to start by pulling the caliper off, which means we've got to pull this little guy out here, this little pin. Make sure you put it somewhere safe after you take it out, because you don't want to lose these. Not that you can't replace them, but you know, just something else that you're going to have to deal with. Once you get that out, you'll see there's a little, I already took this out and kind of greased it up a little bit. There's a little slide pin in there, and what we're going to do, I'm going to stick you guys in the stand over here so I can use both my hands, is we're going to take a little screwdriver, you know, something about like that, and there's a hole on the back side here. We're going to slide it right in there, give her a couple of taps, pinch and slide right out. That little guy there, it's got a little expansion collar on. Come on, focus, you bastard. A little expansion collar on the other end to keep it in place. Again, set that somewhere where you're not going to lose it. And then once that's out, your caliper should, in theory, this one's going to be a little sticky because these brake pads are completely gone. A fair amount of pressure on there too. Wait a minute, I think I got something messed up here. What am I doing wrong? Oof. Yeah, that one's definitely gone. Well, you'd think I would have checked this out before I started the video, but you know me. Okay, so I guess we'll do this the other way, the slightly less fun way, which is pulling the bolts out. Slide that back. See if we can find the right socket here. Okay, it's a 15. Where's my 15? Where'd you go? Alright, let me find my socket and I'll bring you guys right back. Alright, we're back. Yeah, I had to find my 15mm ratchet wrench. Now, you can pull that pin, but judging by the looks of things, that's only to so you can take the brake pads out once you've got the bolts out. There's two 15mm bolts on the back side of the caliper to hold the bracket in place. Just spin that out real quick. They look like that. It's two of them, one on top, one on bottom. Spin those out. Phone's going off. Come on. There we go. Okay. That's both bolts out now. Oh, boy, she is stuck. Give her a few love taps, see if we can. There we go. Okay. Not exactly how I wanted that to go down, but you know how it is. Those brake pads are annihilated, so we'll gotta run those pistons back, and then we'll put some new brake pads in it. Alright, next step. I'm getting off track here. This plastic cap right here, all you really need is a screwdriver, you know, something to that effect. This one's got wheel spacers on it, so it makes it a little more difficult to get in there, but it's not terrible. You just kind of want to put a little pressure on it without digging into it, and just grab it and yank it off of there. Next, you got a cotter key in here. Try not to break it unless you got an extra one. If you don't, every parts store, hardware store, or anything like that will sell you a new one. They're not super rare or anything like that. Get a hold of the end of it there. I like to use side cuts when I'm taking these out. It's probably a pair of pliers would probably be better, because the side cuts, if you squeeze too hard, you can dig in and end up cutting it off. And, you know how that is. 32 millimeter. These ones are 32 millimeter. The factory nuts, because these are aftermarket axles, the factory nuts are 30 millimeter. So I'll be using a 32. Just give her a little spin that axle nut off there. Pull the washer out, and be very careful when you're tapping on the end of these. Don't go ham and start railing on it, because you'll mushroom the threads over. Then it won't fit right, and once you get it tapped back, you pull your whole hub off. Yours obviously won't have this big aluminum piece here, because this came with spacers on it when I bought it. Make sure you get any dirt and debris out of there that you can. This is a little bit easier for me because I've got the differential out, which I haven't decided when this video is going to come out yet, but you guys will see the diff removal and replacement. I'm just going to slide the axle the rest of the way through, set it out of your way. Like I said, if your diff's still in, this may be a little bit more of a fight. You may have to undo your shock mount bolt up here, take your sway bar off, pull this swing arm bolt out of there and get this completely off the machine. It all depends on how much play you've got with your axles. Your mileage may vary on that one. But next step, I'll clean this off a little. We're going to take our wheel bearing greaser, a little grease fitting there in the end, and you're going to push it in until it's flush out here, and that'll put the little holes here, if I can get it to focus. This little guy right here, there's 3 of them on this one. There's one there, and then there's another one. That'll put it right here. There's a little seam in between the races of the bearing. It'll put it right in between those two. Push that in, grab your grease gun, hook it up, and just pump away till you start seeing the grease coming out around the bearing itself. These ones are fairly dry, so that's probably going to take a fair amount. Oh, sounds like we got some movement. There we go. Now we're starting to get a little grease out of her. Alright. Let's see. Backside. I think we're going to go a few more pumps. Ooh, there is some water in there. This is a good thing to do if you do a lot of mud riding. If you're in water a lot, if you're riding in sand a lot, whatever the case may be. It's just a good idea to have this, even if you only do it once a year. Once a year is better than not doing it at all. That one seems like it's a little bit stuck, so I may have to deal with that. A little bit of extra grease on the outside there, but long and short version, that's how you grease your rear wheel bearings. Like I said, if you do a lot of water riding and stuff, something to do, regularly, probably a couple times a year. If you're just riding trails and stuff like that, it's not a bad idea to do it, once a year before your season starts, or before you really start, or a long ride or something like that. It'll help protect the wheel bearings, because these, even from the factory, don't come with very much grease in them. And the grease that does come in them is really, it's not worth the petroleum that it's made out of. It breaks down very, very easily, very quickly. So just a little piece of maintenance there for you, something you should keep an eye on. And, like I said, these things are cheap. This one was 14 bucks. You can buy ones where it has a hole in the center and it slides over the axle, so you don't have to pull the axle completely out of the machine. I wasn't able to find one, at least not in the time frame that I had, so this is what I ordered, and 14 bucks isn't really all that bad. So yeah, that's how you grease your rear wheel bearings, if I can talk today. And yeah, just a good bit of maintenance, something to take care of. It'll make the bearings last a lot longer, and won't leave you stranded on the side of the trail when one of them decides it's time to exit the chat. So, yeah, if you like the video, leave a like, drop a comment, let me know you were here, say hi. If you feel like it, subscribe. You know, the likes and comments definitely help with the YouTube algorithm, so a little shameless plug there. Yeah, until next time, keep a shiny side up.